Lesson 9.1, Video 3. Identifying and using asymptotes to graph rational functions. Now, if you're given a function, a rational function, which is right here, notice you have an a in the numerator, which is not a problem. You have a binomial in the denominator, and then you have a constant to the right, so plus c. Asymptotes can be vertical and horizontal. So how do you identify from a function what the vertical asymptote is? Well, we said that the vertical asymptote is where, or is what the value of x would be that would cause the denominator to become 0. So your vertical asymptote, x value, is directly related to your excluded value. And again, your excluded value is the value that would cause your denominator to become 0. So if you have in the denominator x minus b, then that means your excluded value in variable terms would be b. Okay, so b would cause the denominator to become 0. Therefore, you take that value and you make an equation. X equals b is a vertical line. It will be dotted, and it will be called the asymptote at that value. So basically on the graph, it's making you're showing the reader that you cannot plug that value in. The horizontal asymptote is y equals, again that's a horizontal line, that'll also be dotted, and that's the c value. So if there's no value there, there's nothing being added or subtracted from the fraction, your y would equal 0. But if there's a constant there, then there would be a dotted line at that value, a horizontal line. Something important to consider, we've talked about this many times before, about domain and range of these kinds of functions. The domain of a rational function is all reals except your excluded values. The range is all reals except y cannot be the c value that is that vertical, or excuse me, horizontal asymptote. There's one phrasing in here that's worth mentioning, and that is rational functions cannot be traced with a pencil that never leaves the paper. For example, if you draw this, and the next examples will do this, you'd have to actually pick your pencil up and start over again to finish the graph. And that's because of the asymptotes. It causes a barrier to be created that you have to actually jump over and start graphing on the other side. So when you're picking x and y or x values to plug into your function, then it's very wise to choose x values on both sides of the vertical asymptote to graph. And this ends Lesson 9.1, Video